What's going on there, guys? How you doing? My name is Poe, and today I wanted to do kind of an interesting video. It's not necessarily a real talk that some of you guys may remember from back in the day, but it's kind of about my feelings and how a particular video game has changed my life. For the good, actually, a very positive way. And I wanted to share that. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that said game. That is Pokemon Go. So we're going to have to deal with some awesome Battlefield 4 gameplay in the background. So enjoy that while I talk about an entirely, completely unrelated video game. So number one on the list, Pokemon Go is a mobile-based game where you get to actually be mobile. You go out into the actual world and you just run around, do things, play, hang out, socialize, and you run into random Pokemon. You earn things, you fight, you battle, you do lots of cool things, much more in the pipeline to expand the game, and so many different generations and so many more Pokemon to come in the future. This is going to be a game that's going to have long-term depth. It's going to be alive, and I highly doubt this is just a fad that's going to die off in a month or two. This is probably going to be extremely substantial in the community for gaming for the next few years. So, what I honestly have to admit, and this is weird to say, but in a weird way, Pokemon Go has been the most influential game that I've ever had in my life. It has motivated me to do so many different things. Not saying that this is an expected experience for anyone. You may not be impacted the same way that I have been, but it gave me a little bit of motivation to do a few different things, and I often get made fun of. My wife doesn't play it. My mother-in-law always makes fun of me, but jokes on her. Little does she know that I actually fart on her contact lenses. But that aside, my mom plays it. I go out and I play with my mom. I've got friends. I'm closer to my brother-in-law. We go out and we actively play this, and we'll be out till midnight, 2 a.m. sometimes at these giant social gatherings where I currently live. And we have 300, 400 adults out there. They're out there talking about things, sharing stories, jobs. There's people hooking up. It's actually a really interesting thing. And this is what has really improved some of the biggest weaknesses in my life. Now, if you did not know, I'm fat. Hi, guys. How you doing? That's me. And this has been something that after high school, I completely got wrapped up in YouTube. Now, this may not seem like a thing that you believe or not, but YouTube generally, between the networking, the editing, the gaming, and everything like that, it may not be the most strenuous job in the world, but it is very time-consuming, and it's easy to get lost in it. I would honestly work 7 days a week for years on end without vacations or breaks, and I'd work about 80 to 90-hour weeks. And with all of this, I had very limited time to do anything. Eventually, kids came along, so any excess time I had, I was spending with kids. I still loved the taste of pizza and Fritos, and I still ate all of that stuff. Therefore, I became the fatness. And, of course, that is to follow. So, I didn't have much time to exercise or do anything, and, you know, if I had any hobbies, I'd rather read or play video games or do something in my spare time instead of working out. And honestly, I've never seen that there was a problem with being a little overweight. I'm not, like, extremely obese or anything. I'm not unhealthy. I can go out and play sports and basketball, and I don't get winded or anything. So it's not a matter of being out of shape, because I'm definitely a shape sphere. But that's just kind of how it is for me. And I never really worry, because I love wings and ranch and potato skins far too much for me to want to look good and have a six-pack. And it wasn't until recently that I got motivated, and I thought, hey, Pokemon Go's coming out. I chose this as an opportunity to change my life. I know I'm going to play this. I know I'm going to have friends to do this with, and it's going to be a fun experience because I grew up on Pokemon. And I'm going to go out in the world, I'm going to start walking, I'm going to be actually exercising. What? Seems weird, right? So, as I'm out in the world, I took this as an opportunity for me to do something different. And I decided to diet a bit. I decided to almost completely eliminate carbs from my life. And I don't do chips anymore, I don't do sugars, I don't use salt on anything. Outside of streaming division. And it's just one of those things that I decided to stack up. I'm like, if I'm going to be healthier, I know I'm not going to see the results I want, so let's take this as an experiment. What if I start playing this game, having fun, working out, being healthier, being able to do all of these things, walking around, getting more in shape, and decided to diet too, so I hit it all at once. And within the first month of the release of this game, I've lost about 22 pounds. I went from being around 235, and I'm down at around 217 right now. And this is pretty substantial for me. This is the first time in 10 years that I've been under 220 pounds. And, yo, that's exciting for me. It's giving me motivation. When you see success and when you see things like that come together, it's highly motivated. Now, of course, the dieting is a major influence on how I've lost this weight, but it was this game that got me into this movement that persuaded me to make other decisions and try to change something that I was not happy with in my life. Again, I didn't really care too much about it, but I wanted to be healthier. I didn't care about for what other people thought of me. You know, I like my chins. I collect chins. It's okay. I'm fat. It wasn't necessarily for other people. It's for me, because I wanted to be able to be healthier and do more things with my kids as they're growing up.
Want milk?
You want milk?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Speaking of which, I'm gonna leave that in. You guys are gonna love that. So he wants milk. So that aside, it was able to give me an extra security in knowing that I'm gonna be healthier. I'm gonna be able to enjoy more things and more experiences in my son's lives, and that's what was my motivation. So all of these things come together, and it all started with a video game, and that's, you know, where it was a snowball effect. That aside, one other major weakness that I have in my life, one thing that I've always tried to cure and get over, is I am very, very awkward when it comes down to social experiences. I've never had confidence. I was never very good at talking to girls. Well, at least in a romantic, you know, I was, you know, Captain Friend Zone. Don't get me wrong. I got along great with women. I was raised a mama's boy, so I get along great with women. Just not in the sexual nature. It wasn't great for me when I was growing up as a kid. I was always very insecure, and not because I was out of shape. Like I said, when I was in high school, I wasn't out of shape. So it wasn't anything like that. It was just, I've always been anxious around other people. I can't stand being in these situations, but now with something in common, all of us out there, and what I would consider an awkward situation in the first place, playing a video game that brings us back to the nostalgic roots of our youth, it just kind of gets me thinking. And with this, you know, I'm talking to other people, guys, girls, couples, and, you know, if I was a single guy, this would be a great opportunity to meet girls. I'm out there and I'm meeting people. I mean, we're exchanging numbers, we're hanging out, we're playing, we share our pokey battles and our embarrassments, and we get to deeper levels where we start talking about other things like our jobs, our kids, and stuff like this. And it's such a unique thing to have in common. It's like a built-in icebreaker. And the same thing has happened to my brother-in-law, who's a little socially awkward as well. And, you know, when rare Pokemon pop up in this area, like I said, there's hundreds of people around. You know, he's the first guy to yell out, "Yo, Dragonite spawn!" And everybody just stampedes on over. And these are things that, had you told me a month ago that we'd be doing and interacting with other people, complete strangers, I would be like, there's no way, because that doesn't seem like me. Because I'm always too, I would say, afraid or anxious or nervous to do this with other people. This has helped me get over a few different things. I'm a little bit more confident reaching out and talking to people, starting conversations, completely foreign to me up until now. So this game has helped me improve two major areas in my life that I've not been kind of comfortable with before, but I'm getting there. I'm nowhere near what I want to be. I can't wait to be under 200 pounds, and hopefully that happens in the next few months. I can't wait to do all these things, but this game was the gateway. This was the opening for me to find these things, to be more satisfied and happy with experiences in my life. I'm now at an acceptable weight. I'm seeing progress. I'm seeing results, and this makes me feel great. I'm talking to other people, girls, guys, couples, kids, everything, about all kinds of different topics. And this is something I never had the confidence to do before. And this is all because of one game. And it's given me this level of comfort to share with other people and expand on things that I would have not been comfortable with before. And I just wanted to share this story with you guys as a motivation. So if you were like me and you guys were overweight, or you don't have any confidence, you don't have, you know, you feel very awkward when it comes down to talking to complete strangers, this is one of those things that helped me. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work for you, but you got to find that one thing that gets you through the door, gets your foot in the door, and you got to get that confidence level. So whatever your motivational needs are, whatever it is, whether or not you just wake up one day, it's got to happen one time or another. Whether or not it's addiction you're dealing with, you're talking about actual personal issues you're dealing with, whatever it is, social issues, you need to be able to dive in there. And at some point, you got to wake up and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, I didn't need to start dieting at all. I could have just started walking around and I would have been just fine. But I seized the opportunity to do something extra, and it's changed my life for the good. Same thing with the social experiences. I really did not expect this to be something that would allow me to open up, and it surprised me. So maybe starting up and playing Pokemon Go can help you and give you the same results that I've had. Maybe joining a bowling league or going to a library or something like that can help you. I know the outdoors is beautiful, and so much of us are crept up on our smartphones, and we spend so much time on computers and video games. There's a wonderful world out there. I'm traveling to catch unique Pokemon in all these different parks, and I'm seeing waterfalls. I fed ducks with my kids the other day, and that was something that I had done since I was a kid. All these great things that are out there that are free, that don't cost anything. No DLC in the real world. And it felt so good. So this is where we say goodbye, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be playing this game 6 months to a year from now, but the things that I have learned from this, I'm going to be able to carry over through the rest of my life. So you know, I could drop the game tomorrow, but I'll still be going out to parks. I'll still be walking around with my family. I'll still be dieting because I'm happy with the results. So sometimes you just need that nudge. You need that momentum, that motivation to get you into something healthy. So whether or not you've struggled in certain areas, whether or not it's weight, depression, anxiety, addiction, whatever it is, what have you done that has helped you get over that hurdle? And I'm curious. Pokemon Go was that one for me. I've got a phone call. I've got to take this. You guys have a great evening. Leave a thumbs up. And again, share your stories down in the comment section below. We're all strangers here. We're all friends. Maybe you can help impact other people. You take care, guys.